Hello guys, Happy New Year to all. Today we're going to be doing something very exciting. We're going to be roasting our very own images. Cue the audience applause. Just kidding. But today we're going to be reviewing my images from 2020 and we're going to be taking a look at them to see how we've done over the course of 2020. This portfolio review does not encompass all the work that I've done throughout 2020, but I've selected these images selectively to show you how well I've improved. I've included some before and after images as well. Some experimental things that I've done. We're going to look at them and rate how well I've done and executed these photographs as well. We've done quite a lot of shoots given the pandemic and the COVID restrictions that were going on throughout the course of 2020. And I am extremely proud that I've been able to accomplish this much even in the midst of a pandemic. I've encountered a lot of great losses this year as well. I've learned quite a lot when it comes on to contracts. I've learned to deal with people a bit more. I've learned how to invest in myself to a point where I'm not detrimenting my future. I've learned a lot about setting boundaries and speaking up for myself and saying no to certain things, saying no to a lot of things that people try to bring my way, and really standing up for myself. I've been doing photography for the past 2 years. I am fairly new. I've invested a lot of time, a lot of efforts, and a lot of energy and resources into doing this. And my goal for photography are extremely big. So I am going really hard this year. I'm going really hard and trying to build my confidence, trying to build my communication skills, trying to build my business, which is of paramount importance for this year. And we're going to see where this year takes us. With that being said, we're going to be diving into our images right now. We're going to be looking at each of them. As you can see on my screen here, I have quite a bit of layers here. On each layer, I have maybe 1 to about 4 images, and we're going to be looking at them individually. We have about 20 layers. We're going to be going through this quick. I don't want to take up a lot of you guys' time, so we're going to get right ahead into it. 2020 portfolio review. If you want to check out my Instagram to see more of these images and other images that are not in this review, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Link is in the bio. That's such an Instagram thing to say. I mean, link is in the description. First thing that we're going to be looking at is this layer called silhouette. I've never actually done a silhouette prior to this particular shoot, but this was my opportunity to go ahead and try this out, and this is what I did. Let me go ahead and turn this layer off. This is an image of a silhouette. Let me go ahead and zoom out just a bit. This is a silhouette that I did for a shoot for an artist actually that wanted to get a bit of images for his work, for his portfolio, for his music. And at the end of the shoot, we decided to experiment a little bit with this. I've wanted to try it for a while, and I asked him basically to just, hey, I'm gonna put you in front of this huge 48 inch softbox and we're going to test this out for a bit. And he was willing. I love when clients and models are actually willing to try new and crazy stuff and be adventurous. So we did this, and this was the outcome. Right here we have this huge giant softbox, as you can see. You might say this is not a softbox, this is a white circle. It is a softbox. What I did in post was to basically just cut out the edges of the softbox and make the circle a bit more defined. Because if this wasn't here, you would probably see the edges of the softbox along the corner of the circle here. So I didn't want that to happen. So I had to Photoshop the corners in properly, and this was the result. What I would have changed in this image particularly is the shape of his head is not that flattering. I would probably have asked him to turn his head more towards the left or turn it more towards the right, because we're seeing kind of a cone shape here. Not to like disrespect the model's face. Obviously, you can see these arms. He's athletic, he's muscular, he has a good physique. And what else I would have done is to bring a little bit of light on the back here, just so it's not as dark, so we can actually see the back of the t-shirt. Up here we can see the edges, but I feel like putting an alternative light source towards the back here to actually bring out the shirt, especially knowing that there's a small detail on the back, would have been really good, because it looks like we're just looking into just dark oblivion here. So I would have changed that in post as well. Next, we have another silhouette in this category of experiments, and we have this. This was another shoot that I did that I wanted to experiment with the same idea, but I wanted to incorporate a bit more props into this. This image I do like a bit more than the first one that I did, because this has more dimension. It's more 2D than the first one that we saw. What I would change about this image here is the model's hands. As you can see at the corner here, his hands are chopped off, and the softbox does not encompass his entire body, so I had to like make as much as I could with the model. I don't know if you guys can see this, but even at the top of the sword on this side, we have a bit of like detail from the cutout here that was not selected and masked properly. So things like that I would have done and paid a bit more attention to while cutting this thing out. And even right here at the bottom of the model, you can see that the legs are like halfway chopped off, like right around the pelvis area. I could have gotten away with lowering the backdrop, which is the softbox, a bit more. About here, I could have probably gotten even a bit more height when it comes down to like the model's jeans, which would have made the image a bit better. With continuing this experiment, I went ahead and I tried another one with this model. Her name is Crystal. She is an amazing model. She came so beautifully done with her makeup, her hair, and she was just ready to go. What I love about this image is just the sassiness. You can just spot how well and how much sass this image possesses, and your personality just comes out without even seeing her face, and that's amazing. And I love the nail detail here. The fingernails is just like adding that much more pizzazz to it, and I love it. One thing that I would change about this image though is just this part of her hand. You can see that it came in and it covered, probably she's holding her waist, pardon me, as you can see here, but it looks like her hand are chopped off, or the detailing of the blacks are so crushed that you can't literally see her hand. So it looks like her hands are a bit lost in the shadows there. So again, with the first critique that I had for the first one is to bring in a bit more light towards the front, so we can get a bit more detail in the dark areas. And those were my experiments for these silhouettes. I love what I did. I'm happy that I went ahead and did it. I did this using just the softbox, 48-inch softbox. What I could have done alternatively is to try a silhouette on a Savage white seamless paper instead of using the 48-inch Octabox. I'm still learning how to process using a white seamless paper to get the silhouette perfectly. So that's something that I definitely want to learn a bit more throughout the course of 2021 as I do a bit more shoots. Alright, moving on from silhouettes, we have another client here. His name is Chardon. We're going to go ahead and add this image here on the screen. As you can see, we have this very artsy looking kind of pose here. You can almost picture this on like a wall with like a painting, and it's amazing. One thing I really love about this image is the depth of field, but it's also turning me off at the same time. We can see that a major part of the image here, where the focus is around this area right here, and a little bit on the glasses here. You can see there's a bit of sharpness here, but the fall off was so great that all the model's face over this side is a bit blurred out, also on the neck part here. So I would have definitely increased my aperture here to get a bit more of the model's face, especially being so close up. So we have this same image here in black and white as well. I really love black and white images. It's just more. That's a descriptive word that I have for black and white. It's just more. It's very intriguing as well. So I went ahead and I converted that same image into black and white, as you can see here. I love the retouching, but as you can see, there's a bit of spots. Pretty much identifiable on a very small scale, but you can see there's the gradient or the transition in the retouching on the skin here. You can see it went from light to dark, but here's a bit more darker. And even on the hairline here, because of the blurriness and the retouching at the same time, I would have been a bit more mindful of those things. And it's really hard when it comes down to like retouching skin that has naturally dark areas like under circle darkness or even like dark spots in people's faces. But I felt like the black and white kind of did a bit more justice, and I like this image. Next, we have again our model Crystal. I'm pulling up an image of Crystal here again. This image I absolutely adore. Remember when I said that she came with her makeup and everything done and ready to go? I mean, look at this. Crystal was such a beautiful model, and just look, I can't get enough of how prepared she was. I loved that. And when she came in with her baby in a stroller, and it was the most beautiful thing ever. And she was just ready to go. I love that about clients. So we can see this image here. It was Crystal's birthday, by the way. And she came beautifully done. I'm ranting about that a bit, but I appreciate when models do that. You make the photographer's job a little bit more easier when it comes down to like fixing stuff in post or fixing stuff on shoot. That saves a lot of time. So the retouching on this, as you can see, is the main thing that I want to point out. It's a bit excessive, but not to its detriment. And I love that. I love how the lips are highlighted and how the eyes, how bright and beautiful they are. And the makeup is not like super bad or anything. It's just well adjusted for her face. And the red here, oh my gosh, the red here, that's so beautiful. We also have a few more images from the same shoot. As you can see, this one now, I darkened the temperature of the backdrop just a bit, just to make it a bit more blue, just to bring out that hair color a bit more. But the bad thing about this image here is just cutting off her body. Like, you never want to cut off a model's body when you're in the middle of a shoot. So I cut off her arm on this side and kind of made a detriment to the image. And also hands. You never want to cut a model's hand off. Her holding her here and flipping it out, pizzazz, I tell you, pizzazz. So that was beautiful. I love that. Next one, we have another image of Crystal here. As you can see, same problem that we had with this one. Her hands were cut off. You can still see them. The nails are beautiful. And her neck. Now, when we have models with generally a bigger size necks and they're crunching their heads down low, it almost looks like they're neckless. And we don't want to give that perception of the people that we're working with. We want to make sure they're their best self and they look as well as possible. So I would have definitely corrected this neck pose to probably tell her to lift her chin up because she's so beautiful. And that would have made this image a little bit more better and a bit wider probably. Next, we're going to move on to Shirtless Noel. Here we go. We have Jamal Noel Pink here. He's an artist as well. And he is a gorgeous model. This tattoo on the ribcage here, absolutely love that. As you can see, he's a very handsome young man. We're modeling Adidas. I usually don't allow models to wear name brands if they're going to be actually in the middle of a shoot, especially if these images are being like posted, because if you don't own a stock or part of the company, it's usually not required, and you can definitely get in trouble for that kind of thing. Now, the posing for this, as you can see in both images, Jamal is wearing nothing, but he's holding his shirt like this in both images, and that's not very flattering. Usually, if a model is throwing a shirt over their shoulders, they're probably gonna hold it with both hands, or just do it in another way, like that would make it a bit more interesting. But I'm not quite sure that this over the shoulder holding it down thing is very flattering. And you can almost sense Jamal's masculinity in these images. Nothing too flamboyant, nothing too gaudy, and perfect. It was mid sunlight, as you can see the harsh shadows on the chest area here, the harsh shadows on the face. You can see him squinting a bit here. Yes, it was a very sunny day, and we just walked around a plain field and we saw this area near a factory, and we just decided to go over there, and we did these. You can see the harshness of the shadows on his skin here from the shirt. The sun was very, very bright. So I love the environment, but I would have definitely adjusted the posing a bit more here in these images. The underwear, I don't know. I didn't really think much of the underwear at the time, but there's nothing wrong with them. Yes, so that's it for Jamal Pink, shirtless Noel. Moving on. Next, we have an aerial shot. I want you guys to comment down below how you think this image was captured. I did a poll on my Instagram, link in the bio, and link in the bio is just an ongoing joke at this moment. Link in the bio if you want to see the Instagram. I posted a poll asking my followers, how did you think this image was captured? A bunch of them said that this was taken with a DJI Mavic Air, I believe. I'm flattered that people think I can afford a drone at this time. Some people said that I was standing on someone's shoulder. Another person said that I took this on a hill. And there was a bunch of crazy responses, and I was surprised at the responses that people thought how I got this image. And the fact that no one got it really said something interesting about this. But I would have posted the answer, but I didn't want to reveal it. I wanted to keep it a secret for some reason. And I did not tell anyone how I got this image because everyone got it wrong. I will not reveal it here, but I'm going to give you a slight hint. I'm 6'3" and a tripod. Those are the two hints. You can figure it out. Now, this was a beautiful image. I don't know how I came up with that idea, but execution was perfect. I would have wondered. Okay, pardon me. I would have changed my model Felipe here. Him looking down at Maya, who's the lady in the photograph, is almost as if he's sleeping, and she's fully awake, staring into the camera so perfectly. But he, on the other hand, I would have changed his eyes to looking up at the camera, at least, to give them both the sense of like, what's up, what's that up in the ear looking down at them, and just to make them more alive and alert, because this look a bit so scenic and romantic at the same time. So that's the only thing that I think I would have changed about this. Maya is clenching her jacket here. I think I would have changed how stern they are. I like the grunginess of this, but I would like them to be a bit more free. And that's creative direction on my part that I'd like to improve in this year as well. So from the same shoot, I did this composite. What I did first is that I set my camera up on a tripod and I captured Felipe over this side and I captured Maya on the left, and we did another photo with them standing in the center here. I thought this image was really poetic, and I wanted to get a sense of like reaching out in the back and then finally meeting in the front. That was kind of the idea I was going for. I wish I had my strobe light to get a bit more detail in the sky, but it was really overcast. But I don't like this blown out highlight on this side. Overall, I think this is a good image. I'm not sure how well this would perform on like a magazine cover or in a competition or anything, but I'm glad that I had this idea and executed it as well. Maya's hand in his jacket, I would have actually changed as well. This Maya's pose on the left, one hand out the pocket, one finger out the pocket, is a great pose. Felipe over here reaching out to Maya and her looking back at him. Perfect. I love this image. On a personal standpoint, I'm not sure how well it would do elsewhere. We're gonna move on to who this? Maya. That's who it is. We have model Maya Marcus here as well for another image. And we have here the most pizzazz that you can get out of a model. We have Maya on the phone, is like, who is this? And then she currently find out who it is, and she's like, ah. And then she starts, don't call my phone again, right? That's the attitude that I'm getting from this image, and I love them. Shout out to Devani Diana for the creative direction on these images. They came out so perfectly, and I see this image in the magazine catalog, and I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. One thing that I would have changed about these images specifically, starting from the left, you can see this cord down in the bottom here. You can tell that the phone isn't plugged in. The crazy thing about this image is it was taken in the middle of a football field, and I had brought my background stand and a few material that I got from fabric store, and we set up this whole scenic environment, and we did this whole editorial shoot, and it was absolutely fantastic. This image on the left, in the middle, sorry, is a bit saturated for some reason. I don't know why that is. I would definitely tone that down so it matches the tonality of the other two images on the left and right. Otherwise, amazing. I would have taken out this guitar in the back because we can't see the bottom part. It just looks like something sticking out at the back of her there. Actually, I don't think this image is even retouched, to be honest. And we're gonna move on to the image on the right, the most pizzazz there is. I love this image. I don't know what I would actually change about it. I honestly would not change anything. I wish she still had the books on her hand. That would make this image a little bit better for me. But overall, fantastic images. I love them. They were well received on Instagram. And we're gonna move on. Now we have, what is that, you may ask? This is Raleigh. This is also another artist. I have been working with a lot of artists throughout 2020, and I actually got the opportunity to have some of my images posted online by these artists and use them, and the images were used actually as cover art for a few of their songs. On the left here, we have this almost split down in the center symmetry of Raleigh's face. This image was edited multiple times. When I sent them to the client did not like these images at first, but I had to go back and I had to redo the images and tone down on the retouching. They were the most hardest images I've ever had to retouch last year. And right now it's still not to the point where I'd like it to be. So my model had a problem with their shaving beard because prior to the shoot they said they went ahead and shaved their beard and they weren't like happy about their chin at the time. But they didn't want to cancel the shoot because of their chin, so they came and went anyway, and we did the shoot nonetheless. The retouching on this was hard because there was very uneven tone textures in the skin. I'm still learning how to retouch images, and I did the best that I could on these ones. At first though, this is the revision that I did. At first, I'm going to show you what I had done in the beginning. Here we go. This was the first image. Absolutely horrendous. For a male figure, you would never want to retouch a male's skin like this. There is absolutely no tone. This image is too retouched, it's over retouched to a point where you can literally see that it is so bad. It looks like a cake almost. And it almost removes all the skin textures in the model. And he did not like it at all. I was embarrassed sending this to a model, but I tried my best because the raw image, in fact, was absolutely the worst I've ever had to retouch. So going forward, I do plan to spend a bit more time on retouching. I feel like I was improving. This has been a major improvement from what I've done. It's just that these images in particular and the model's skin were very hard to retouch. Retouching is not an easy job. We're gonna move on to Peppa Pig. What's that? Is that the cartoon? No, it is not. It is Maya Marcus. Here we go. We have Maya here for a few more images. We have Pink as in Peppa Pig. And these images, material. These are fantastic. What I really loved about these images and the execution of these images is that it was pitch black. And these were taken, as you can see in the center, at a same field that I took the same images that had all the pizzazz in them, these ones. These were taken on the same day, and Maya changed 3 times for this shoot. She is phenomenal, and these images were a few of my favorites, but when I posted them, the other ones with the phones got more receptiveness than these ones, and I was confused because I absolutely love these images so much. I love the pose, I love the chic style that is going on in these images. Again, never want to cut a model's hand off. I would have definitely changed this a bit more. Same thing for this one as well. She has her hand like right between the seats there. I would have also changed that as well. This one on the right, your hand are drawn to where the model is placing their hands, because the hands gives a bit of directions. I love this. I just love the curvaceousness of this, of the legs, of the hand, the one up here. It just gives sort of like a dynamic pose, and I love these images. I love the pink and black because that's literally all you see, and it's great. These were definitely some of my favorite images of 2020. Rolling Stone, here we have Jamal Noel Pink again for a few at the park shoots, and this was taken on the same day that we did the shirtless Noel ones, and these are what I got. I used my strobe light, as you can see in the middle photo here. You can see it in the catch light of the strobe in his eyes, so you can bright midday sunlight. And I love these images. I love the colors, just yellow, red, the black and the blues really went well together with these. Again, we have this hand problem in a few of these images. We have this one, which is not too bad because we can see literally some of the fingers being out, and we have this one fully in his pants, and then we have this one fully in his pants as well. That's definitely something that I need to be more attentive to in the upcoming few shoots that I am going to be planning. I love the simpleness of the wardrobe, just a shirt, this nice pants, and these shoes, red, black, and white. I love those colors, and I'm super proud of these images. Next, we're going to be moving on to Rohin. I must say this shoot was one of my favorites from 2020. I absolutely love how experimental these images were, and how really in-depth and really how well we dived into trying to figure different concepts on the spot for this shoot. It was amazing. But here we have the beautiful Rowan Alang, and he is such an amazing model, and he captures such essence in his features that just gives you that bit of like masculinity and sort of like a deep dive look into your eyes, and I love that. So here we have a simple portrait head on. I literally told him to zip down the shirt here so we can see a bit more of like the neck and the chest area, and he really gives like a bit of structure to the image, and he makes him look like that manly and very structural. And I had a light up above, you can see the highlights in the hair here, and I love that you can see also a catch light in the eye that's coming from my arc reflector, and I love that image. That's in black and white, and here we have the colored one. Absolutely phenomenal. I love colored backdrops. I love bright, showy colors, and I love this. It's one of my favorite images of 2020. Next, we're going to be moving on to more of Alang, and this is from the same shoot. We went a bit more experimental with what we were doing, and we went with a bunch of different ideas. Here on the left, we have this red image. I was looking around for different ideas, and I just randomly grabbed this cup from the cabinet that was beside me in the living room, and these two tall red glasses that I thought complemented the colors really well. I love this detail on the rim of the cup here, and it was just really nice. I love the hand on the cheek. You can see this sharp light at the corner here. Not my favorite, but it works. And here we have a bit more harsher light. I tend to use my softbox to get a bit more like even spread light across the face, and I was like, I want to switch this shoot up a bit more. I want to do something different. And I went ahead and I used my strobe light and my gobo to get a really sharp shadow on the back here. And I love how this image turned out. Here we have another image on a white backdrop, which was just a split face thing as well. I love this kind of look. It's really dynamic. Don't see a lot of photographers doing this. I'm not sure how well received it is. I haven't posted this yet. This is absolutely exclusive review, and some of these images are actually being seen and posted for the very first time. Yes, I love this. I love the detail in his face. I love the lips. I love the jaw. Absolutely phenomenal model. Here we have another shoot. This is my very last shoot of 2020. Yay! We have Miss Leslie Grant. She's a superintendent of education here in our city, and I was blown away finding that out after her shoot ended. And she killed this. She came well prepared. The living space was prepared for me by the time I got there. She provided snacks, she provided food, even helped to drop my equipments back home, and her daughter helped as well. It was a very fantastic shoot, and I love the colors, I love the vibrancy. It was her birthday as well. I'm so delighted when models come to me and they actually are trying to do their very first shoot, or it's their birthday or some special occasion. It makes photography so much more important to the people that are coming to you to get things done on these special occasions, and that is so fantastic. And that is literally what photography is supposed to be all about. And colors popping. I love the red lipstick. I love the pink backdrop, which was also red, that I changed to pink because I thought the pink was a bit more complementary to the yellow shirt here. And this dress, blue, wow. The hair, absolutely fantastic. One thing that I would change about this image is just the retouching on the legs. It's a bit too much for me. I would have definitely toned down on that a bit more. Colors, fantastic. Moving on, we have another image, which is Mutaz. This image was not edited. I absolutely adore this image. It's messy and it's imperfectly perfect. Technically, this image came out as one of the best images that I've actually ever done. Like literally raw file. This is one of the best images that I've ever shot out of camera from a technical standpoint. The lighting in the eye, fantastic. The lips, the backdrop, the position of the face, the symmetry, all beautiful. The hair's a bit messy. We were having a bit of a problem with that in the middle of the shoot, and he had to like run into the washroom and wet his hair. It was so funny, but images, fantastic. Next up, we have Armand. Armand is a signed model. Fantastic. And here we went a little retro vibe. Do you feel this vibe? Do you feel this vibe? Let me know in the comment section. I absolutely love this image. I absolutely adore this. This has not been posted on Instagram either. I've been saving this for my own purposes and own pleasure, literally, and I absolutely love this. How I came up with this idea, I have absolutely no idea. I ran into my living room and I grabbed a jacket. I grabbed a few jewelry and we just went ape, ape, ape. I would have said the Beyonce song title, but we're not gonna go there. I love this. One thing that I would change though is the lighting on the jacket is a bit harsh. You can see the highlight is just like really, really, really spot on there. I'll definitely change that a bit more in post. I love the wig. I love the eyes, I love the skin, I love the beard. Hairy chest. I would have definitely zoomed out a bit more to get a bit more of his body, but I like that the way it is. Next, from a different shoot, this was our very first shoot with Armand. We went outside and we went on an abandoned truck in the middle of nowhere. And I said, I wanted to do a few sky shots. Why don't you get on this truck so I can point my camera up at you? And we just went up there so willingly and we did our thing. It was very adventurous and I like that about models, as I said prior. One thing that I would change about this image though is that his hands are cut off. It would have been really interesting if both hands were in the shot, as if he's trying to block something from happening, or if he's trying to like see something high above. That would have been really cool. So hands is a big issue that I need to definitely work on for 2021. Amazing shoot. Here we have nothing on this layer. Awesome. And we have a bit more of Armand. Here we have a before picture, and here we have an after. This was before asking Armand to change his clothes, and this is what he came prepared in, and we went ahead and we started shooting. Green with this army green with a yellow backdrop. Perfect. Jackets, I would have definitely removed if I had paid a bit more attention. It's kind of taken away from the overall image, in my opinion. The blue cap, I would have definitely removed as well, or at least drag it down a bit more. It's just like sitting on the edge here. I would definitely take that away a bit. As you can see, that was a raw image, and this was the retouched image. The veiny eyes, I would definitely reduced a bit more if I had paid more attention to this image. Nonetheless, it's a fantastic look. It's very chic. It's very stylistic, and I haven't seen anything like this posted before. So amazing. Next, we have VBG. I wonder what that is. This image was sent to me by another photographer. His name is Visual by Gabe on Instagram. You can go ahead and give him a follow. Gabe had posted these images saying that he wanted photographers to retouch them and tag him. This is my version of the raw image that was edited by myself. And I have this really dark, moody look here, kind of like a brownish, reddish gradient going on. This was my very first time actually experimenting with gradient, and I was absolutely blown away by how well executed the gradient was. Also, this mountain in the backdrop was literally not there. I added these mountains in Photoshop. This whole line, as you can see across here, is where the entire mountain scape was added. And there was a big tree here that I also removed in post as well. And I was absolutely amazed by how this image turned out. Gabe also posted 3 other images and the raw files as well. And I went ahead and I edited those ones too. So here we have another one. And here we have another one. And here we have another one. This is Princeton from Mindless Behavior. If you have a childhood, you'll probably know who they are. And I love these images. visuals by Gabe. They were taken by, and he's a fantastic photographer. So go ahead and give him a follow. These were retouched by myself. Next, we have more experimental stuff. Like 2020 was the month of experimenting. That is fantastic for photographers. So I went ahead and I wanted to try a bit more double exposure in photography. This studio portrait double lighting, long shutter, whatever you want to call it. I went ahead and I tried this. I set my camera to about a shutter speed of 20 seconds, and I had set my camera up on a tripod, and I told Rohin Alang to go ahead and like articulate through various emotions, and then we'll capture like the essence of this. Rohin posted this song called Out of My Mind on Spotify and iTunes and other music platforms, and he used this as the cover for it. The song is called Out of My Mind. You can go ahead and check it out. Another experimental thing that I did was this. This was more in post than in editing. This is basically just like a normal portrait on leaning on a table with a red light on the side. We just basically gave Raleigh this red color here, and I added this like red, yellow, and green grain effect in post, and it turned out pretty nice. I like it. And that was a bit of experimenting that I did, and a bunch of adventurous stuff for the other few shoots that you've seen. I want to know what you guys' favorite image are from these particular shoots. And finally, at the start of 2021, I am working on my website to be released in the next 1 to 2 weeks. I have a few images that have not been posted on social media that are going up on my website, such as this one here, this one here, this one here, this one here. This one has not been posted either. This has not been posted. This has not been posted. So a bunch of stuff I have on my website that are not actually on Instagram at all, and I want to keep them from my website here. You can go ahead and check this website out in the next 1 to 2 weeks, depending on when you're seeing this video, and let me know. Leave a comment, leave a like, and let me know what your favorite images are. Next, we have our conclusion. I want to just thank you guys for watching this video. You can go ahead and follow me on IG. I have most of my images on there. I have a few followers and counting. Experiment with my photography. Leave a comment. Let me know that you're from the YouTube portfolio. And definitely comment down below what your favorite image is. I have a few titles on here of the layers. You can just look at them and just put the hashtag for what your favorite layer photos are. Thank you guys for watching this video. I will definitely see you guys in the future for more of this. Comment down below if you would like to see a bit more experimental shoots and what else you'd like to see for this channel. Thanks for watching. Have a safe day and a happy new year.